What was y'all's transition from football to wrestling? Y'all kind of jumped into the Blanchard tournament pretty fast. How was that transition? Like, what was some big issues or anything y'all noticed once y'all got there?
The conditioning is a lot different. It's a lot rougher.
I came up Saturday and just ran, tried to get the pain away from football, just to take the pain away from that loss. And I felt like it helped me get into like wrestling mindset, just running matches.
What was it like for you, Jace, coming back? Because, I mean, realistically, like, I think I was talking to your dad, man. This is like that was your first high school tournament, right, Blanchard?
My first high school win.
What was that like coming back? Setting out all last year?
Your first high school tournament win.
Yes.
All right, I just want to clarify that. The first high school win. How old is this chump?
Well, we kind of expected to go and win that tournament.
Right.
I mean, kind of out of nowhere getting the 4 seed, but I knew I was probably the best kid in that bracket, and it was good to go out and compete and show that I was.
Is there any wins that while you was there that you really needed to get?
Yeah, the semifinals against Logan Richard. He beat me twice freshman year. I owed him one.
That's awesome. I mean, that's good. That's what you're. I don't know. That's a good first tournament to see somebody and avenge 2 losses, and I don't know. A couple of those losses. I mean, those 2 losses was just kind of when I thought you were an undersized heavyweight. Now you're an oversized heavyweight.
I was a 210 wrestling heavyweight.
Yeah, now you're 310. What was the difference, like, you noticed? I mean, it was a whole year, like we talked about. Freshman year when you were super small. But, I mean, you weren't wrestling heavyweight your freshman year. You were a 215-pounder. But, like, what's the difference? I mean, when you wrestled Logan Richards, to clarify that, you were wrestling him at the junior high or the 15U level when there wasn't a 215 weight class, and he was already at heavyweight, and you were weighing 210, wrestling 215 in high school, correct?
Yes.
So what was the difference between, like, freshman year to now junior year wrestling at, like, the same size as him?
Well, like, neutral, it felt about the same, but on bottom is when he beat me because I couldn't just move under him. But this time I could. He couldn't roll me, and eventually I reversed him. That's what won me the match.
Just so feeling better on bottom, probably just being able to hold your size and hold your base. And I think that's probably the big difference as a big man. If you can hold your base as a big man, like, that probably helps out tremendously.
What's some, other than conditioning, Colin, what's something you ran into that was unexpected?
Unexpected. I kind of expected everything. I didn't want it to happen so fast. I didn't want to end football, but it happened, and then I expected it. I took a break one practice, and then I was right back into it. So
Right.
And that was cool. Like, that's, I don't know, Colin, you're one of, like, the best football players I've ever seen play in high school football. And, like, I mean that, man. And just because, like, your natural football instincts, and I know how much football means to you, as well as wrestling and everything, but, like, I don't know, each kid their kind of own. And I know you, since you were, little bitty, I knew what your mindset would be and what you needed. And, like, that was cool. And several kids, like, kind of needed a little bit, like, maybe a day, or they were in here and they weren't fully locked in. But, like, I know my kids, I know, like, what they need, and I know where their mindset would be. And then the next week, like, they're ready to go compete, not being in full shape, not, like, it's hard to go wrestle when you have the insecurities of your shape, right, boys? Yeah. Like, that's extremely hard. So, like, that's something we're trying to work through at the first of the year right here, and just to let you know that your mindset can help you through things like that. And y'all have done a good job of that so far.
What's some relationships that y'all can think of between football and wrestling? Something that maybe football helps you with wrestling, or something, wrestling helps you with football?
I think wrestling helps me, at least, and a lot of our kickoff players with tackling, at least. Not even just, like, it helps mentally too, because in wrestling it's one-on-one, and then football, you're out there with a bunch of other people, and you see that quarterback on their side, you're like, all right, mentally I'm going to go tackle him. And
is there something to it, like having wrestlers on your football team too? Yeah. Like, you're in here battling with them wrestlers, you know what I mean? So when you're out there on the field, you're like, I know this dude has a certain skill level. We're going to be all right with him.
Yeah.
I can tell that just from the sideline, the way y'all talk and, like, treat each other out on the field, and the way that y'all lead. Y'all are 2 of the leaders out there. The way y'all lead, you can tell, like, the wrestling relationship helps that, and, like, the dependability and accountability, I think, helps out a lot.
I think wrestling helps me a lot with my footwork on the offensive line, because everything about wrestling is just so foot, hand related, and it just helps me stay balance. And lots of pass rush moves are based off of wrestling moves, like my drags, pass bys, all that.
Just to back up a little bit, y'all grew up wrestling with the grapplers. We talked about that a little bit last week with Hunter and Bryce. Is there a point in y'all's Little League career to now something just switched? You feel like you was a better athlete?
When my voice started getting a little deeper, I started feeling like a better athlete.
That's a great answer. That's a Brody D answer right there. That's what that is. Oh, man.
That didn't happen until late in my career, though, so.
Yeah, you were a late bloomer, like, when it came to that. You always had, like, the mental and the drive and knew, like, the wrestling stuff, but the body kind of took a long time to catch up. And you were always a big frame kid and were able to, I don't know, your hips were always really, really good. You always had really good hips as a youngster, and I think that helps you with some of the stuff that you're able to do on the wrestling mat, football field, all those things.
I mean, I've always won everything in my life.
But you know what? Like, he's kind of onto something. Your name's on that Little League board a lot of times right there. Like, how many times did you win U State?
5.
5? All right. Trinity Award winner?
Twice. I should have won it 3 times, but I didn't know about the Trinity. I won Tulsa and Reno, but I didn't know about kickoff.
Oh, dude. That's a lot, man. That's cool. Like, you won a lot of things growing up as a youngster. And when you transitioned into middle school, like, and you had some size differential, like, once you get into 6th and 7th grade, you can potentially wrestle people that are 3 or 4 years older than you. You know, how was it catching up with that gap, you know?
Well, I realized all those accomplishments didn't mean anything anymore. It was just me versus them. I was wrestling freshman. I ended up getting hurt 7th grade year, breaking my shoulder. It was like my 5th match of the year. It's just a catch-up having you to rely on your technique a lot more, not your strength, because they're older, stronger, more developed than you are.
Yeah, you're right. Like, you had a setback as well with, like, all that maturity, like, catch-up gap. So, like, you did a good job overcoming that and taking some losses and learning and growing and maturing them and, like, saying that none of that stuff means anything. And you're right. Like, it doesn't mean anything. They're great accomplishments, and, like, I'm glad that we can talk and laugh and joke about them, but, like, you worked your butt off for those, didn't you? Like, you put in the time. I know you worked your butt off. I've seen you practice as a youngster. Like, those accomplishments when you're young, like, they're great goals to work for, and they set you up for things in the future. But, like, you're right, man. Like, they don't mean anything. And, like, Colyn, I think you did a good job, like, growing up. And you were always, like, you were a kid that would lose your first match, come back and get 3rd place. Like, that type of, like, brawler, like, battler. And, like, I've told you a lot, like, when I grew up, like, I was a lot like that. I didn't win tournaments until, like, honestly, until I won state my sophomore year. Like, I didn't win any big tournaments or anything like that. Never won Tulsa Nationals, never won a youth state championship. Just to see your mindset and development and, like, your path growing up. What was it like having Jace, like, as a partner in here constantly and a person that was successful, and, like, you were in there trying to get there at the same level, you know, not so much successfully, but, like, you guys trained and battled and like developed each other wrestling and mentally, and, like, talk what it was like just growing up, like, so doing that.
Back in Little League, when he would always have a different partner, I was like, man, I do not want to go with him. He's way too sweaty right now. But then the one year my parents and his parents, like, talked, and I was Jace's partner a whole year, 1 year, and I got 2nd at state and
3rd at Reno.
But I wrestled cruise golf.
Yeah.
But I knew I could tell it was a big...
Dang, I didn't know that beef went back that far.
Yeah.
Well, we wrestled at VACs, and he told me the only reason I'd pinned him was because I was fat.
So I remember that you're talking about, Colyn, and we see a lot in kids. Some kids just, you know, they're there, they were part of the team, then all of a sudden something just switches. You know what I mean? They go from just being happy to be part of the team to wanting to be competitive to actually going out there and doing some good things. I remember that year that you're talking about, and I feel like just like a couple months ago I was talking to Nate Jackson about that. Matter of fact, I think we all three was, Cody. Because you got OW that year for the grapplers, right?
Black thing in my room still.
That was a big transition, and I'm going to lead that into one of the questions I want to ask y'all is, what's something y'all look forward to and now or look to when you're selecting practice partners in the gym?
Well, my freshman year, I had Rowell and I was my practice partner, the state champion, just ogre who no one could beat. And that's what I've kind of just took Hudson Bagley under my wing, trying to help develop him like Ryan developed me while still working a lot, being better myself.
And, well, Ritz Amari's state champion, and we wrestle every day. And Shay's just a freak athlete at 230 pounds, so it's just hard to hold him down. He's a good partner. And then Jace, probably going to win state, hopefully, if he doesn't break.
Yeah,
Find some wood.
yeah. Jace is a good partner when he'll switch shirts or do something. He's the sweatiest human on earth, and that's I don't know. I try to wrestle with Jace a lot, but man, you come out soaking wet afterwards, so it's a battle.
Just
So I should
running.
have bringing a towel.
No, that's good. Like the selection of partners and being able to have multiple guys in here that you can. I know with Hudson, like just not only you're trying to develop him, but like he gives you a certain element of pushing you every day. Like no matter what, he's going to get up and drill and drill and drill, and he's never going to take a day off. Like we
Exactly.
saw that in football. He never takes a day off. He played every single varsity snap on offense. Like that says a lot for a kid that 14 years old, just turned 15, I believe. Like, I mean, right as a practice partner.
I see a lot of myself in him.
Good night.
So he's going to be a winner.
The winner, he already is.
So dual state last year, right? What's your memories or emotion about it, Colin, number one? And then same with you, Jace, because you was there, but you was a bona fide decoy, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most action you got was warming up with me and about knocking me out on the mat.
Yeah.
Guy busted me in the head, that big bowling ball of a shoulder.
I don't think we were fooling anybody with that, but it was just kind of more of a threat back there,
He was the backup in case stuff went bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Dual State, oh my gosh, that was probably my best memory of I've ever had winning it. But I didn't even have to. At the last duel we wrestled, I was like, oh, this is gonna come down to me. And then I don't know who was it. Was it Jack that pulled?
Jack had an upset, and then it ended up being Ritson just needing to win right before you, and all yours was just having to go out there and handle business. And I don't know, my memory of it before you go is just seeing you run out to the mat with a smile on, and just knowing you were fixing to dump that kid on his head as fast as you could, and come celebrate with your teammates. So I don't know. We were all waiting on you. That was just kind of handling business.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams would just forfeit and kind of go out there. But I don't know, man. You wouldn't have liked that. You needed to go handle
No,
business.
I needed to do something.
Yeah. So that was cool. But go ahead.
And who was it we dueled? Or it was actually Kawita, the last duel, after they beat MacArthur. And I was sitting there warming up. I was like, I hope Jace ain't going to have to wrestle, but he might have to because your first match,
If it was later in the duel, it may
yeah, I was like,
Well, I don't think we would have ever probably went to that situation. But if I ever needed you in that situation, you would be game. So that's our good personal relationship and knowing what type of kid you are. But as I've grown and matured as a coach, I wouldn't put a kid in that situation that I love and care for. And we've been through some situations like that with you being hurt and having to make decisions that are tough, tough decisions, season-ending decisions, and I'm just glad we've been able to grow and stay close to. It's brought us closer together, if more than anything with all my kids. Colin, you had an injury last year, at the first of the year that sucks. That AC joint injury, shoulder injury is a bad injury. It's hard to deal with, and just I don't know, that's defeating as a kid, I feel a little bit, to have to go through, talk about just being able to battle through some of those adversities and injuries. And what was your motivation when that was going on? Jace, you can go first.
Well, I mean, I knew I was going to have to have that surgery eventually. I knew I was playing through the whole football season hurt. I don't know, I just felt like I should have won state last year if I was healthy. It was hard just to sit back and watch people who I was better than wrestle and win matches. But I knew that's just part of the journey. God set a journey for me, and to keep following that journey.
yeah, it's hard sitting at practice watching your friends wrestling, sitting there oh, should I go out there? Can I wrestle? And then you're like, maybe I just wait till I'm full and then I could. But it's hard sitting on the side because you really want to get out
You
there
really
and
want to do
wrestle.
it. It's all we've done our whole lives.
Yeah, it really is all y'all. Like, I feel like done y'all's whole lives is just work, like practice and do the right things. Like, y'all are really good, not only like athletes and students, y'all are really good, like boys, like young men. And like, I'm really proud of that. Y'all are older kids that my young kids look up to and talk about a lot. And, I don't know, that's just something that I'm thankful for, a lot just due to y'all's upbringing and y'all's parents. Y'all have tremendous parents, and just talk about how your parents were.
Well, they've always coached us Little League. Nathan and my dad kind of brought the Little League program back. Ryan was in there always pushing us.
Yeah, he might not know much about wrestling, but he can
make you run.
One of the best motivators out there.
Yeah.
The best, for sure.
Pride laughs.
Oh, yeah.
They've always just pushed us, installed a work ethic in us.
They've never let us quit anything, so they said if you're going to not do that sport, you've got to keep playing it until the season's over, then you can choose the next one.
Exactly.
So it was never just give up and stop.
What's some advice y'all would give parents if they're looking at getting their kids in wrestling?
Have the kids stick with it. I mean, wrestling's a grind, but make it fun.
Yeah.
It's just
Make it fun.
It's going to make them a lot better person and whatever other sports they want to do.
Sit back and let them do their thing. If you're over here on the sideline, just watch them. You don't have to go out there and, I don't know, let the coaches do the coaching.
Yeah, be the parent, encourage them. Don't try to coach them.
Y'all's parents are really, really good at that. Like, I'm very thankful. Like, I have good relationships with both of your parents, like personally and just like professionally, like, because you have to, with like my job, have relationships, and like you blur the lines with some people, and like they're just two good, like solid sets of people that I can depend on, you know, to always do the right thing when it comes to the professional side of it. They let me coach you boys and love you boys and do what I need to do. But then, like, on the personal side, I just know I can depend on them for anything as well. Like, you have very dependable people in y'all's lives, and I don't know, that's not every kid grows up with like the fortune of having that things. And not saying that y'all don't have struggles within like your daily lives and your personal lives and like your athletic lives, but just being able to have people you know that you can depend on, I think is tremendous, and it is essential in like the development of young athletes. You can say all the things you want and the magic sayings, but having good, solid parents you can depend on help out tremendously.
It's kind of a question for Colyn, or this is a question for Colyn. You know, last year you got third at state, right, at 215. I know it's still early in the season, but what's your thoughts on 190?
I kind of like it now that I'm already down here.
Right.
So I think I could win either weight. I think me or Ritson could win either weight. But 190, I look a little better too. Feel a little faster. So I don't know, maybe I don't have to wrestle such bigger kids and resort to my lat drop.
That's a pretty good advantage, though. I mean, if you from a practice standpoint, right, being able to have Ritson in here to practice with, everyday state champion, you know, similar weights. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's just when me and him wrestle, it's like you think you would know each other's moves. I mean, he knows I have a lat drop, I know he has a double leg, but there's different, like, it's just a grind. And when we're wrestling, it's just like you never know.
And you're both so competitive that y'all won't just sit there and practice and do that. You'll mix it up into some sort of scramble and make it where you're going to compete against each other. And I don't know, that's what you need with good practice partners. And you're both right there in between like a weird kind of weight class, 190, 215. That's a gap. Like, and I get it with wrestling, and there's never really been a great solution with it. And y'all are great athletes in other sports and everything. It's just y'all are able to do that just because y'all are bigger kids and able to control your nutrition and diet and up your cardio and stuff. And I don't know. I think, like Coach Bean said, I think it's an advantage both of you boys have. Like, y'all can both wrestle down with 190 small kids. You can both be big as hell at 215 and beat up on the biggest of kids. Like, it's good to have because you have a giant ogre across from you right here that gives you the big look. And I don't know. I think you're fortunate with like those partners and everything.
Yeah.
Coach Rowell, this is a question for you. Do you think there would be any advantage to maybe certify them both at 190 at one point? That way they both had the option?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We'll probably do that at some point where they both have the option. Just something I've learned in the past 8 years. I just want kids to not have any regrets at the end of the season when it comes to like weight classes, because I've had kids the week of regionals be like, hey, coach, what if I can go down to 120 to make the team, blah, blah, blah. Like, man, that'd be cool, but you never certified there. You never did your weight stuff there. I mean, it's too late, senior, junior, end of the year. And our team's really competitive this year. And just kind of like Colyn said, too, I think both of those boys could win either weight class. Like, they're both extremely talented. And I just want to have all options on the table when it comes to that type of stuff. And like I said, I mean, if they have to miss 1 mil, like, they're all right.
Can you think of any examples where somebody has been caught doing that wrong? Like going to regionals, not certified at a certain weight?
I don't think I know of any, like, off the top of my head. I mean, most people know, like, if something fishy's going on, but I can't think of anything. Like, who knows? Yeah, yeah. I know when it comes to that, like, everybody's not honest when it comes to that, but
Coach Jackson will figure it out.
yeah.
I don't know. We might have the only Coach Jackson.
Theirs wasn't a weight certification issue. It was a
Physical.
It was a doctor's clearance issue on a weight certification, which is stupid. There's too many damn rules in wrestling. There's too many damn rules when it comes to that type of stuff, but we follow them.
I don't understand the time between match things. I don't like. I understand it. I get it, but it makes no sense to me why you can have a little league youth tournament and these little kids can go out there and just many matches a day, no times between matches. They don't think it's safe for high school kids to do it. That don't make any sense to me.
It's got to all be behind the dinero somehow. There's got to be some kind of logic. Y'all know how I think the man's out to get me all the time.
So the more time between matches, the more money their parents have to spend.
Yeah, man. And then you have to break a session, kick everybody out, bring them back in. I don't know, man. There's so many things that I love about wrestling. I love about the sport. The going and sitting at a tournament all day, and just which we just came off of last night. Like, literally, we were here till 12:30 last night, and it's 12:30 in the afternoon, and we're back here talking, just running a junior high tournament, and both of you boys were there helping out. And Jace, you ran a table for 12 hours probably, and Colyn, you ran it for a lot of hours, and Colyn ran it to the point where he came down here to work out. He didn't want to do it so much. Several of our kids were down here working out because there's no way they wanted to work at that tournament. But, like, when it comes to that, I just wish there was some better solutions as far as getting the quality and the amount of matches you can get in amount of time, and not having to drag people's day out and all that. Like, you boys have spent a lot of times in gyms as wrestling kids, and I did growing up, and I do as a coach, and it's not a bad place to grow up, but, like, still, like I said, there's probably some kind of solution out there.
You know, speaking of the junior high tournament yesterday, is there anything y'all was excited to watch? Any kids y'all was excited to watch wrestle?
Hudson, Bagley.
I was excited to watch Hudson go out, double A people.
And him, Daxton. After I saw him throw that kid on that video, I wanted to see it happen again, but I was watching his last match, and I was like, please just throw.
Daxton got OW. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was a good tournament for him. But now that's Hudson's in, like, one of those positions as a freshman where he can still wrestle in those tournaments, and y'all get to go watch him beat down on some kids. He double leg and cradle every heavyweight yesterday, I think.
Yeah. I actually voted, like, for HUD as OW, and I didn't even realize they hadn't wrestled his finals match yet. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I think another one of our kids got it junior, which was well-deserved. He beat a lot of good kids, but I think HUD, like, got overlooked a little bit just because his matches, number one, were so quick.
Yeah.
And number two, they're just heavyweights long at the end of the day. Like, coaches were ready to get out of there.
Junior beat two really good kids in semifinals and finals match. I was really happy for that kid.
Yeah, he had some good depth to that little freshman class, and y'all two just kind of talk about some of them young kids coming in and what's y'all's expectations of them and the team and everything.
Man, I hope freshmen, I love freshmen. They think high school is going to be really hard and tough, but it is in some points. But I just like that we have that opportunity to have freshmen on our team, and they don't like. They went to that tournament, and they're like, there's some of them did, and then like Kaysen, he said, man, the difference between high school and junior high is a big step. And I was like, yeah. And Braxton and them after the duel, he was like, man, those kids are strong. I was like, yeah, high school is a big difference in junior high.
It's just fun to watch them grow during the season. Kaysen's going to have a great year. Braxton's going to have a great year. Talon's going to have a great year.
Talk about how it's your responsibility to help them grow throughout the season. Y'all have been there. Like, y'all had kids that helped y'all grow. Talk about passing that along.
Well, I think as a freshman, if you have a junior or senior helping you out and stuff, it just gives you more motivation, or at least it did to me when people helped me out when I was a freshman. I was like, all right, so they want me to grow, so I'm going to try harder. Gave me motivation.
And it helps build confidence in yourself to know that you have a senior that's already a great wrestler and he's help you become a better version of yourself.
No, that's good. I'm like really just proud of how our team passes that down, and that a lot of that's natural, and just being kids that grew up in the program and all that, and y'all's dads did a good job of making sure y'all were always back in here in these grappler practices, and to a point where I had to run y'all out, like when y'all were in junior high, 6th grade, 7th grade. I had y'all, and this is just a story I'll tell, I had y'all in PE, which is wrestling class, and then I had you at high school practice, and then I'd have you at grappler practice at night. And like there was a point where I just had to like tell your dads like, hey, let's cut this down where I just see these boys maybe once or twice.
And sometimes we'll be running those 2-a-days too in the morning.
Yeah, y'all were there in the morning at 7 a.m. with the high school kids. Y'all came to everything that was expected of high school kids in 5th grade, 6th grade, and, which was good for your development. It was great, and we were fortunate to have that. But talk about that a little bit.
Oh, it took a toll on my body. I was so tired all the time while doing that. Sore. Kind of like playing 2 football games back to back.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
You'd want to come out. It didn't make you like want to be like, oh, I don't want to do wrestling again. But you'd want to, it hurt, but you'd want to come back and do it again the next day. It made you feel, especially those 2 days, it made you feel good in the morning.
Yeah, and like it got to a point where I knew just how much y'all wanted to be in here and y'all wanted to be doing all this. But I'd be like, hey, let's just try to cut it where maybe when I had y'all, I could get the most intensity out of you instead of spreading it out throughout 4 times where I just got like the least amount of intensity just to get through those practices. And I think being able to do that was able to just to help y'all grow into good junior high and high school athletes, because a lot of kids, when they do that at your age, people are like, well, they'll never wrestle a high school match because they're going to get burnt out. You hear burnt out all the time. And you kids like showed no sign of being burnt out. Like, and there's times where we could have, as like me, your parents, we could have ran y'all into the ground and burnt y'all out in some situations. Talk about how like y'all were able to avoid being burnt out as youngsters.
Well, as youngsters, it's just like when you're in here, it's more, if you're having more fun and you're not always like, oh, this sucks, I just don't want to keep running, and you just have fun. If you think of it having fun, your parents motivate you and stuff, and it makes you not want to quit. It makes you, because having fun, you just want to keep having fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you love the sport. It's hard to burn out something that you love so much as you do it, but there's an off season for wrestling, and that's when you take a break during that off season, you're on to your next sport.
I think some of it too is like the dynamics of the wrestling room. Dax he's hitting that stage right now. You know what I mean? And I think
he's exactly in that stage.
Yeah, he is in that stage now. And then you got the older kids. Like what y'all, I hope y'all realize this: how much the younger kids look up to y'all. You know what I mean? Because y'all make it fun. Y'all make it cool to wrestle for them, and y'all are good influences too. Like me personally, when I was growing up, the people I looked up to, Jesus. It wasn't good, but now my son, he looks up to kids that are champion athletes. They got good grades, they're not out getting in trouble. You know what I mean? They're not doing anything illegal. Y'all are good kids, and I think the dynamics coming in, as a 6th, 7th grader working out with high school kids, looking up to y'all. I mean, that's what he aspires to be. One day. So my son's lat dropped the other day. That little clip. I guarantee you've seen the Colyn Donnelly do that.
Yeah, so I after that Friday, that tournament, I went to Los Margaritas in Elgin, and Coach Castro's in there. He's like, I saw you wrestle that Bigsby kid. And I was like, what? Like, I thought about it. I was like, I didn't wrestle no Bigsby kid at Blanchard. And he was like, yeah, the video. And he showed me the video of Daxton let dropping that kid. And he's like, yeah, right here. I was like, that is Daxton Bean. That ain't me. He's like, oh, well, I guess I just thought that was you because that's what you do. I was like, no.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
He's like, Dax looks big in this.
Shout out Margaritas, Los Margaritas, Colyn with that NIL deal. Colyn, get you some meals at Margaritas.
After wrestling season.
Yeah. Get my man come March.
Aren't you glad I taught you that lat drop?
Yeah. That you tossed Ricky Thompson.
Yeah, so Ricky lat dropped me, and I went and learned it, and I threw it on him, and then he pinned me in it later in that same match.
And we came back that same tournament.
Tournament.
Right here. I learned.
Yeah, went to work, huh?
How long did it take you to develop that?
He was a natural.
Yeah, I guess.
Some people do just have that natural feel, man, and it's really strange. Like, I did not grow up with that natural feel, and I still, like, don't have that, like, real natural feel for that type of stuff. Waylon Rowell, great at that stuff. Like, he can get after it. Never taught it to him, just kind of developed it in here. I mean, it's just kind of a feel sometimes.
I don't know. I feel like Colyn made it cool, though. You know what I mean? Like, he made it cool. Who was Isaiah Wolf? He used to have a good one, too, right?
Yeah, his was good. We've had a good run of, like, big, giant ogre kids, being able to pick kids up and slam them and just be your typical, like, beef head kids. That's good, though. I'd rather have them than not have them.
Yeah, no doubt, right? Yeah, no doubt. What's some improvement from last year to this year that y'all are working on?
Well, last year we won state. Like, now it's gone. It's in the past. We won state. We want to work towards winning state this year, and we know that we can. We know we did it last year, so we're like, all right, let's work harder to win it this year. Winning last year helped us motivate us to win this year and work harder in the wrestling gym.
I feel like everyone's just closer. I feel like the team's just a family right now. We have great leadership in the room, help push everyone. And last year, yes, we had that, but I feel like it's just on a different level right now.
Because we've been all the way, even through junior high, we've been together since.
It's always been us. Now it's our time to lead the program to where it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, man. That's what I want to hear our kids say, and that motivates me so much, makes me want to work so hard for you kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me want to lose my mental sanity sometimes for this job, because I do. Like, I try to put so much into it, and I don't know, just hearing you kids do that makes me want to work hard for y'all. And winning last year, I think more than anything showed y'all, like, so many times those mornings I was screaming at you about, if you do this, this will happen, you know, and it happened. It developed right in front of our eyes. And then, like, we still went and put that same effort into, and we didn't get it. So we saw two, like, ends, like not winning the tournament, not getting probably the results you wanted last year, definitely not having the results you wanted last year in a different scenario. But then I saw y'all now, like, grow through that adversity. You know, you grew through that adversity, and just like y'all are growing through an adversity coming off of that football loss, you know, you guys are always going to grow and develop through those things just because you've been raised that way, you know. And I don't know, that's just proud of our dads and our youth coaches and our youth programs and our community that's helped raise good kids like y'all.
Is there anything from, like, youth league that y'all learned that you can look back on now that still sticks with you?
Well, it's like, don't let the moment be bigger than what it is. I mean, I've wrestled in lots of national tournaments, and it's just another match, no matter where it is. Just gotta go wrestle. You've put in the time, the hours, go wrestle your match. What happens, happens.
Yeah, no matter what, it's you versus that guy. He puts his pants on the same way you put your pants on, so.
Now, Cody, is there anything that you learned in youth that still sticks with you today?
Yeah, like, everything I learned in youth sticks with me today. Like, my dad did a tremendous job of just, I heard the Sanderson brother talk about it the other day, and they're like, my dad did a good job of this too. Like, my dad just loved watching me go out there and wrestle and compete, and, like, winning, yeah, was a good byproduct of it, but, like, it was good. It helped us get closer together. Like, it's something we bonded over. He learned it so he could bond with me, you know, and I I don't know. I just never felt like pressured to win or anything. And I still, like, to this day into my coaching career, I don't feel pressured to win at all. Like, winning is never a pressure to me. Like, my daily struggles are like the pressures of developing your kids. I feel like people depend on me a lot to just do certain things for their kids. But like youth wrestling and my dad and my youth coaches helped like really instill just I don't know, that and the bigger picture when it came to it. You know, I never felt the pressures of winning. And like you guys talk about that with your big moments, I see that in you guys before you go out on the football field, before you go out on wrestling matches, before you go out in state finals matches. I can laugh and crack a joke with you, you know, and just say, I love you guys, but then I can smack you in the face and then it's time to go out there and beat somebody down, you know, and that's just, y'all guys were built for that.
If you had a dream wrestling match right now, you could pick one person, and it's for the state championship right now.
Go ahead.
Who would it be?
Ricky Thomas.
Why is that?
Elaborate.
I mean, we've wrestled our whole lives. I've never beaten him. Been close several times. But hopefully we get to see that match at Geary.
Yep. Yeah. I hope it's the first match, too, because I'm only going to be there day one. I want it to be the very first match.
Dean's got to see it day one.
Whenever. I'll take it whenever.
I don't really have a dream, like, person. Like, I don't know. It don't really matter who it is, but third period, last match of the state tournament, like 30 seconds left, I'm down by like 4. Not lat drop this kid.
That's the ultimate beefhead answer. But I like hearing it. I love hearing that y'all like have visions like that, because I've coached kids that have no like, and it's not because of like their fault by any means. I mean, they're kids, and it's my job to love them in a different like area than I love you guys or like that direction. But like they have no vision or foresight. They don't see themselves ever winning that like big moment because I don't know, maybe they've never been allowed to dream outside that box, you know, and wrestling helps kids do that, you know. You have big dreams when you're able to come in here and battle through adversity.
Who's somebody y'all excited to watch wrestle this year?
Everybody.
Jack Angeli.
Good answer. Good answer.
That is a good answer.
You never know what's going to
Because
happen.
it's a wild card. That's what I was just going to say. He really is a wild card. And he's a guy I want to get on the podcast here in the next like week or two and listen to what he has to say about life because I love Jack too. He's one of the boys that grew up with y'all. He's a year older than y'all and same like pedigree, same upbringing, like just a whole different dude.
Yeah. Hunter. I want to see Hunter. Or Bryce. I like watching them wrestle, but I want to see Hunter win a state championship. I want it for him.
Oh, yes. He's always in here working, does everything right. It's time for it to pay off for him.
That'd be awesome.
Who has the best blast double in the wrestling room?
Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce. He went famous for it.
Yeah. It's going to be the great debate forever.
Final words, right? So it's just, Cody, you put it better, like goals or?
Yeah, like a personal goal, a team goal, and then just anything else you want to say. Let it rip, get you some deals.
I mean, obviously, like team goal is to win dual state again, but I also want to win the
Tournament state
championship as like a team. I feel like everybody should. I guess different people have different goals, but it'd be awesome to win a state championship as a wrestler at any weight.
I want to win the Geary tournament a lot. Win state, go win the U.S. Open, shoot.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's good. That's a Jace answer. If I've ever heard one. But no, my just like my goals. I kind of tell kids when they come on here like, what's my goals with y'all boys like this season, you know, or girls. And as I get older and softer, I feel like I'm gonna just get turning into a softie. But I want to enjoy these last 2 years with y'all. Like I really have enjoyed watching y'all grow up, and y'all are going to do good things throughout your career, whatever you choose to do after high school. But I want to enjoy it, but I also don't want to like give y'all an inch on anything, because then once you come back in life, like you'll be like, why did Coach Rowell let me slip on that? And that's what y'all depend on me for, and that's like where wrestling coach is and where coaches should take accountability. You know, kids do depend on you at this level for stuff like that, no matter how good their home upbringing is, no matter what. Like, wrestling's a hard sport, and like if you're a wrestling coach, like you need to be a dependable like person for them people, I feel like. And not to say that doesn't come with ups and downs. Like, people have different situations, but like in the end, like I know 99 years from now, when I'm still able to get in a stance and get after it, I can call Jace and he'll come and
pick you down like I did.
Yeah, he'll come and still do whatever. No, there was no way that happened. I don't know, just saying, like, I know I can depend on you boys for anything. I can call y'all and need anything. And likewise, I hope y'all always know. So, like, that's just my personal goals. And just, like I said, see y'all develop throughout the year.
I'm just excited to see y'all wrestle again and get back at it. You know, obviously the Geary tournament's, you know, big on my radar. It's my old stomping grounds. Y'all can see my hood. But I'm just excited to get to see y'all compete. You know, my goal is to just try to get better at coaching. I'm in a great spot to where I'm around a lot of good coaches that, you know, I can learn off of. You know, and that in turn helps me help other kids too. So
Yeah, I just want to thank all the coaches for sacrificing their lives with their kids and stuff for us and coaching us to be better kids too and taking us in as their own.
Yeah, we have amazing coaches here.
Yeah.
I don't see it as sacrifices because, like, my kids get to get raised in this environment with y'all. That's what I want. I want them raised with, like, good people. And, like, so there are, like, times where you sacrifice a lot of things and, like, but I know, like, the gratefulness that's, like, y'all are and all that. And that's, like, what makes it all worth it. And when it comes to that aspect of it, and just when it comes to the time put into the time put out, it'll never be equal, you know, but the results and the upbringing I'm able to bring my family up in is, like, what I want. Like, wrestling people are the people I want to be around when it goes down. That's back to the man.